I'm Steve from Music Time, and it is time to make some sense out of the piano. The goal of this video is to teach you how to find and play every single note on the piano keyboard, which I know sounds like a lot, but don't worry, I'm going to break it all down, simplify it, and by the end of this 5-minute long video, you'll be able to do it. So let's get started. If we were to look at a standard full piano keyboard and we counted all the white and black keys, 1, 2, 3, 4,
7 years later,
86, 87, 88. That's right, there are 88 keys on a full standard piano keyboard. Lucky for us, we don't have to know and memorize all 88 keys. In fact, there are only 12 unique keys, and those keys just repeat. So if we can identify those 12 keys, then we'll know all the keys on the piano. But how are we going to do that? Good question. I'll tell you. You might have already heard about this thing called a musical alphabet that we use to identify pitches and notes with letters. Well, on the piano, each key has a letter from this musical alphabet. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Once you get to G, that's the end of the musical alphabet, because after G, we start with A again. So those are all the white keys on the piano. Those 7 keys simply get repeated up the piano keyboard and down the piano keyboard. Now, you may notice these black keys up here, in between some of the white keys, you can see that there's a specific pattern to them. We have 2 black keys kind of close together, and then we have a space, and then we have 3 black keys kind of close together, and then a space, and then 2 black keys, a space, 3 black keys, and the pattern continues. Now let's see how we can use that pattern of black keys to identify the white keys. It turns out that in the pattern, whenever we have these 2 black keys together, the white key in between is a D, always. So if you can find these 2 black keys, then you can find D. This is a D, this is a D, this is a D. Why don't you give it a shot? You can pause the video, try to find as many Ds as you can on your piano, and then come back here. If you have a full piano keyboard, you would have been able to find 7 Ds. Here's a helpful way to remember that that's a D. Whenever we see these 2 black keys together, we can imagine that they make a roof over a little doghouse, and that inside the doghouse is a dog. Since dog starts with D, we can remember that that key is D. Let's also imagine that on this side of the doghouse, on this white key here, we have a cat that's coming to see the dog. Cat starts with C, so we can remember that every time we see the white key before these 2 black keys, or before the doghouse, we'll know that it is C. You can do the same thing. Pause the video now and try to find as many C's as you can. Good luck. So the 2 black keys are a roof to a little doghouse. Let's take a look now at the collection of 3 black keys close together. We can imagine that they make a roof over a bigger main house. The main house has a front door, which starts with F, and it has a back door, which starts with B. So every time we find the white key in front of these 3 black keys, we'll know that it is F. And every time we find the white key that is immediately following those black keys, we'll know that it is B. That's how we can remember. The main house has a front door and a back door. So the doghouse has a dog living in it, but who lives in the main house? Grandma. The first key after F is going to be G. That's Grandma's room in the house. Imagine that that's Grandma's room. And there's also an attic in the house. The attic is a little higher than Grandma's room. That makes sense. This is G, and attic starts with A, so that's A. All right, there's one more white key that we need to find. All right, the elephant we're going to find right outside the doghouse, in between the doghouse and the main house. So that's going to be our elephant right there. So now we know all the white keys on the piano keyboard. That's a lot. It's probably a good time to pause the video and quiz yourself. Go and try to find those keys on the piano keyboard. Once you feel comfortable with that, come right back to this part of the video and we'll finish up with the last part of the lesson. All right, here we are. All that's left are the black keys. Let's take a look. Now, each of these black keys has a name, but their name is dependent on which white keys they're next to. For instance, in between C, the cat, and D, the dog, we have a black key here, and the name of this black key is C sharp, or D flat. That's right, 2 different names, same note. Let me explain. We call it C sharp because it is 1/2 step higher than C. C to C sharp, that's 1/2 step. We can call it D flat because it's 1/2 step lower than D. D, D flat. All you need to know at this point is both of those names work. If you hear D flat, you play this note. If you hear C sharp, you play this note. All right, let's check out some of these other black keys. Let's look at the key between the front door and Grandma's room. This key is called F sharp or G flat because it's a 1/2 step higher than F and a 1/2 step lower than G. That's how it works for all these black keys. Pick another one. How about this note? Do you know what that's called? I bet you can guess. If you guessed A sharp or B flat, both of those answers are correct. So now we know that this note's going to be C sharp or D flat. This will be D sharp or E flat. This will be F sharp or G flat, G sharp or A flat, and A sharp or B flat. That's it. Are we done already? Those are all the white keys, all the black keys on the whole piano keyboard, and now you know them. Congratulations. All right, if you feel comfortable with those keys and finding them, it's time to move on to the next lesson, and we'll be playing songs very, very soon. Can't wait. See you there. Woohoo!